Yeah. Big JTV. Appreciate y'all for checking me out and tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's talk about it, man. Rest in peace to Orenthal James Simpson, OJ Simpson, man. And, I'm not going to re-litigate it, the trial. I'm not here to basically break down his life, what he allegedly might have done, which he was found innocent of. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit, in the famous words of Johnny Cochran. What I will say now is the facts, and I'm going to go on the back end of this video, and I'm going to give you my opinion. By the way, appreciate y'all for, even spending the time and listening. Like the video on your way in. So, this morning, on OJ's Twitter, it said, on April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren. During this time of transition, his family asked that you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace. The Simpson family. And it was very telling, the fact that they removed the comments on this tweet, because they knew what was going to come next, right? What was going to come next is people that were still angry from the results of the trial. And when I'm talking about the trial, I'm talking about the 1995 trial of O.J. Simpson for the, murder of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown. You know what I mean? Nicole Brown Simpson, right? This is the crazy part, man. We have to. I'm just going to tell it as it is. This man was a fantastic football player, and I'm telling y'all right now, this is a football-based channel, sports channel. So I'm just gonna go first at what he did within the game on the field of football before we touch on the other things. First and foremost, Heisman winner. You know what I mean? With USC. Right? First overall pick to the Bills in the 1969 draft. Multiple times Pro Bowler. You know what I mean? 5-time All-Pro selections. Led the league in rushing yards 4 times. By the time he retired, the man was the second most rushing yards in the league. Right behind the greatest running back in the league, Jim Brown. He was the first player to ever reach 2,000 yards, and he did that in 14 games. 2,006 yards in 14 games, bro. You do the calculations, that's 143 yards per game. Absolutely insane. Everybody knew where the ball was going. Everybody knew where the ball was going. It was going in the chest or the upper stomach of O.J. Simpson, right? That's what was going to happen, and y'all had no choice but to accept it. Y'all had no choice but to accept it. You know what I mean? And then after that, he became an actor. He became somebody who was in commercials. Obviously, he was inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame, Pro Football Hall of Fame. The man was a fantastic running back, one of the greatest running backs of all time. You could argue he's top 5 of all time, right? Became an actor, became a broadcaster, became, sportscaster, became a dude who was living the dream of every athlete, became a crossover person, especially in those days in the 70s and 80s when black men, especially former athletes, weren't looked at as commercial, as popular. I mean, keep in mind, this is before MJ, dog, Michael Jordan. This is really, OJ was there before, Magic Johnson, really. You know what I mean? You didn't see a black prominent figure, sports figure in the mainstream culture, meaning in movies, in commercials, on television, just like that. Of course, there was Muhammad Ali before him, but what made OJ different is that OJ didn't have a connection to the black community like that, at least public facing. I mean, he was a clean cut guy. Think about, Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. This dude was basically a buff version of Carlton, you know? But what made this so crazy, what made his story so crazy is the fact that he was married to a black woman, you know what I mean, his high school sweetheart. And then he met, ultimately, somebody who changed his life, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron. Well, he met Nicole Brown Simpson, married her. Actually, funny enough, he met her when she was like borderline 18, 19, while he was still married, right? And eventually, they got married and he had 2 kids with her, right? But they got divorced in 1992. They reconciled again, but then they broke up again. And in June 1994, after years of allegedly abusing her, right, he was arrested and charged with the murder of Nicole and Ron Goldman, right, her friend. Now, I could get in my conspiracy bag. I can get in all types of theories. I might even do a podcast on it. But ultimately, this led to the trial of the century, right? Which was the 1995 trial, where he was found not guilty, right? And to give further context during these things, when this happened, it was in LA during a time where racial tensions were extremely high. You had the Rodney King beating that happened. You had LA riots that happened right after. You had that black girl that was killed by the Vietnamese corner stores. The name escapes me. But you had multiple events that were racially motivated against black people, where you saw the law was against black people, where you saw that, society was against black people, where there was basically racial tensions to their highest level. And this is America, man. There's always been racial tension. I'm Canadian, man. I haven't spent a lot of time in the States, but I am just an observer. I'm going by observations. You know what I mean? And when OJ was found not guilty, it was a large scream of joy, because what OJ represented in that trial was not really the trial. He represented a black man who was able to successfully mount a defense team and allegedly, from what they say, get away with murder, because he had done the opposite of what the justice system usually does to black men. He had found a way to be found innocent. And ever since, he has been hated by white society, which is very ironic, because he did his best to ingratiate himself and appease white society, because he didn't believe he was black. He believed that he was OJ. Right? In our community, we call that an Uncle Tom. In our community, we call that a sellout. Literally willing to sell out himself and his own people in order to get money, fame, and ultimately power. Because I think that's what he always wanted. He always wanted power. Right? I'm not going to be out here litigating his life. I know everybody on the internet, or most people on the internet, are shmoney dancing on his grave, are happy as hell that this man is allegedly or apparently in hell, even though y'all don't know his relationship with the Creator or the Most High. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say that this man, like all men, are complicated figures. I think that he did some great things. I think he also did some terrible things. But that's with him and the Most High. All I say is rest in peace. My condolences to his family, his grandchildren, his children, and everybody who really loved him. Because beyond sports, a man died that a lot of people cared about. It's Big JTV. Like, comment, sub. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. I'm out.